Welcome back to Strib Varsity Live, and now it's time to give you a sneak peek of the 2025 All-Minnesota offensive team. And rejoining me now, Jim Paulson and Cassidy Hedesheimer from the Star Trib and Strib Varsity. Jim, you put this team together, so you're going to get the honor of naming the offensive team, and we're going to start with the big guys up front. And only 4 on your offensive line, so we'll start with Owen Lindner out of Chanhassen.
You know, Lindner is an Iowa recruit. He definitely fits the Iowa mold. I mean, he's sitting about 295 pounds, about 6'5", and Iowa likes to play physical upfront football, and that defines Lindner. Yeah. That's the type of he's a road grader. He moves people off the ball, and that's just what Iowa wants to do, and that's what they have Owen Lindner for.
I think this offensive line is tremendous, and the guys that you've chosen for this, and they're pretty obvious too. Yeah. Andrew Trout out of Ricori.
University of Minnesota recruit, one of the top-rated kids in the state, and people have been excited about having Andrew Trout out of Ricori. He's 6'7". He moves very well. He's recovered now completely from the foot injury he had last year, and he's got very athletic. Yeah. Can move very well. Can get out. He's learned to pass block better. He's another guy that offensive line, they run and they know how to run block. They know how to be physical, and that's where he is right now. He's going to be a stalwart for the Gophers' offensive line for a long time.
I know through the 8 games of the regular season, he did not give up a sack for Ricori this year. Just an offensive dynamite player for Ricori. Ethan Beckman out of Prior Lake. This is not a little guy.
No, he definitely blots out the sun. I mean, it says 6'5", 345. I think he might be a little taller than that, and he might be a little bigger than that. But he is an offensive lineman. He's going to Iowa State, and he fits that Iowa State game very well. Another offensive lineman that is physical, can move guys off the ball, can move laterally, which is one of his strengths. You see Beckman. You see the video of him getting out and leading the block, pulling. And you think, how does a guy that big move that fast? So it's a nice get for Matt Campbell at Iowa State.
I got to give you credit because you named Weston Rowe on your team last year out of Jackson County Central when I didn't even realize he was as good as he was. So, and he's on this team again this year. I mean, he has proven himself as one of the top linemen in the state of Minnesota.
Absolutely, and I think he's the biggest guy on this list. I think he's listed at 6'7" and about 330. He's another one that's big boys. That's what we have at offensive lineman, right? Yep. And he's going to South Dakota State. He's a legacy at South Dakota State. His parents were South Dakota State grads, and he said, born a jackrabbit, always a jackrabbit. So there was never a question of where he was going to go to school. It's just a matter of, is anybody else going to move in and poach him? But that was never a point. He's going to South Dakota State. He's a great offensive lineman, and he's leading the #1 team in Class 2A.
All right.
Well, him and one other player that we'll talk about later.
We'll talk about him too. So that's it. Those are the 4 linemen, offensive linemen, that make the offensive team. Let's move to receiver. And there's just one. I mean, there's 2 names on your list, but one is a dominant player, and that's David Mack out of Moorhead.
He's been just amazing. What hasn't David Mack done this year for Moorhead? I mean, anytime he has the ball in his hands, he's got the ability to go the distance. He accelerates well. He's got terrific hands. He elevates for the ball. He runs great routes, and he's just such in sync with the quarterback, Jet Feeney at Moorhead. They're great friends, and when they're together, that's easily the toughest passing combination you'll find in the state. David Moorhead had 106 catches, more than 1,000 yards, 24 touchdowns. I mean, the kid's been fantastic.
All right, the other receiver that is on the 2025 team, Cade Bush, the tight end out of Chanhassen.
We need another big guy, and Bush is a great tight end. He's not just a tight end. He's big. I think he's about 6'5", but he can line up tight to the line, and he's a great blocker, but he can get into the slot, or he can line up outside and go move the ball downfield like a wide receiver. He's athletic, he's fast, he's even carried the ball a few times this year, so he's versatile. And he originally committed to Arkansas, changed that commitment to West Virginia, and they're going to get a good one.
Yeah, for sure. All right, the state's #1 recruit is the athlete on the 2025 team, and that's Roman Voss out of Jackson County Central.
We haven't heard of him before, have we? Yeah, Roman Voss is the best, the #1 recruit in Minnesota. Yeah. He's playing quarterback for Jackson County Central, the #1 team in the state in Class 2A, and he's put up some good numbers. He's going to Minnesota, but the plan is to have him as a tight end. He's 6'4". He's anywhere from 215 to 235, depending on what recruiting site you look at. But he's definitely the type of athlete that is going to make a difference at the University of Minnesota. He was so good and so much in demand. The University of Alabama wanted him. How often does that happen? A kid from Minnesota going to SEC school.
Minnesota over Alabama.
He chose, so you got to love him. He chose Minnesota over Alabama.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He'll always have a place in my heart as a former Georgia Bulldog for doing that. I think I said that at the beginning of the season, but nothing's changed.
So Roman Voss is the athlete on this team. Let's move to the running back position, and we have 4 of them. We'll start with Caleb Francois out of Minnetonka.
Yes, I mean, I haven't seen a player as smooth and as elusive in a couple of years as Caleb Francois. He doesn't outrun people with speed. He just has the ability to know where to go with the ball and slip into the cracks that he needs to get into. And I think he's well over 1,800 yards rushing this year. Yeah. He can do whatever he needs to, and he's not going to wow anybody with big explosive plays. But he runs the ball, and suddenly he's 12 yards downfield, and teams can't catch him. They can't catch up to him. He's been fantastic. He actually moved from quarterback to running back this year. He actually had to take the quarterback role back over when the quarterback at Minnetonka was injured, and they barely missed a beat. And now he's back at running back for the Skippers in time for the state tournament. So he's a difference maker there.
He is definitely one to watch. The only junior running back on this team, because David Mack's a junior receiver, the junior running back is Martin Celine out of Hermantown.
You know, speed, pure speed. This is what this kid brings up at Hermantown. You get him a gap or you get him around the edge, and he's gone. You know, he doesn't need much for him to explode through, and nobody up on the north can catch him. He was I think he was runner-up in the 100-yard dash, in the 100-meter dash at the state track and field meet in Double D last year, and I think also took second and third at the 200 yards. So he's got that straight-ahead speed that you need.
You have. Go ahead.
I was talking to folks up there up there during the state soccer tournament, and we were talking about him. He's that good that he came up in that, and they were saying I think he started running track in like March, and then by June he was coming in second, third, and all these events. So yeah,
He doesn't need much time.
Nope.
No, he does not. There's a guy on this team from Byron, Carson Heimer, who unfortunately got hurt. Didn't get to finish his entire season, but the impact he had when he was on the field for Byron is unmistakable.
Well, they were number one for all year long, and he was always the playmaker. He's the central focus of what everybody would do to stop Byron and what Byron did when they tried to move the ball downfield, and he just couldn't stop him. He's fast, and he runs with power and runs with good balance, and he gets those shoulder pads square to the line of scrimmage, and he's through the line, and you're not going to bring him down. No arm tackles or anything, and he's going to outrace you too once he gets through into open space. So it's too bad that he wasn't able to finish this season healthy, because I think he tore some tendons on top of his foot, and that ended his career.
But he played defense too. I mean, he did everything for Byron, and that's one of the reasons why.
And his career isn't over. He's going to play at Mankato.
Yeah.
So
all right, the last running back on the 2025 All-Minnesota team, James Engel out of Maple Grove.
I love James Engel. He's 5'9", about 180 pounds, and he told me he runs angry. He wasn't a starter for Maple Grove last year. He's the number 3.
He was kind of overlooked actually
on their depth chart last year. He came in this year and has made great strides, and just is explosive. He runs hard. He's fast. He never quits. And he said to me, he wants to run over your face when he's running. That's his goal. And how do you beat that?
Yeah. Outstanding. So those are the 4 running backs that make the 2025 team. We have just 2 players left, and you named 2 quarterbacks on the offense, and we'll start with Logan Lockermeyer out of Minneapolis North.
I love Logan Lockermeyer. He doesn't fit the prototypical quarterback, but he does everything right. He throws the ball well with precision. He has a good arm, and he knows how to distribute the ball to all these great receivers that North has. I consider him kind of like a maestro of all these virtuoso athletes that North has. He knows how to get the ball to the right place at the right time, in stride, and as a result, North scores a lot of points. These guys go the distance, and they all credit Logan Lockermeyer for how he's able to get these kids into what he does. 38 touchdown passes this year.
Yeah, and the second quarterback on the team is also the third offensive player from Chanhassen on this team.
Nathan Ramler. I love Nathan Ramler. He's so smooth and so calm, and he's so intelligent. He thinks the game so well. I mean, you watch him play the game, and he can go through his progression so fast. He can go from his primary receiver to a secondary receiver. He can slide outside the pocket and throw the ball downfield. And he went all the regular season without throwing a single interception. Finally, A couple of defenders got to him in the playoffs, but he still has 26 touchdowns and 2 interceptions this season, and he's throwing for 2,200 yards.
Fantastic. That is the 2025 offensive team. You saw the defense earlier, so 25 players total. The one thing we are not going to tell you is who the player of the year in Minnesota is, but you can say definitively he's on the list. So that'll be announced on Tuesday, November 18th, when the team comes out with the Star Tribune on that day. This was your sneak peek of the 2025 All-Minnesota football team. Congratulations to all the players that were selected. And again, Tuesday is the day if you want to see this team in print. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Cassidy, for doing this. Appreciate you guys. And we're going to take a break. We'll come back with more Strib Varsity Live.